Hey, I'm Jisoo and welcome to the Sifu Academy. Today we're going to learn how to defeat Yang, and that guy gave me a headache. He gave me a headache because there were way too many things to keep in mind. That guy, The one thing you should always keep in mind when fighting Yang is that he has input reading. It means that his reaction depends on what you press. He may stop his combos because you are dodging and he doesn't want to land. When he throws those punches, it's with the intent to land them. So if he misses, if he whiffs, he's not going to, he's just going to stop because he wants you to be on the defensive. He wants you to start pairing. So when you do that, yes, it's going to increase the aggression and he will eventually break your guard. And we don't want that to happen because this guy in particular, he can kill you in 2 combos, sometimes even less. He's not too bad, but you have to be focused the whole time. You have to be there when you fight him, and you have to fight with one thing in mind. You have to adapt to him. When you fight Yang, and you don't want to just throw punches for the sake of throwing punches. You throw them with the intent you want them to land. And always keep somewhere in your mind that it's possible that he will parry you. Whenever you throw a punch against Yang, just be very careful because he will eventually parry you, and that's when he will counter attack you. So that's why this video, especially in his first phase, we're going to see what you should be very on the lookout for, right? So firstly are the counters. He has 3 different counters. The first one, and actually my favorite, is a 3-hit counter attack, and this one can be easily parried with a potential to be severely punished, especially with Crookfoot. Crookfoot is very good against Yang because the whole time you are playing on the defensive and you will be parrying a lot. The second counter is a crouch punch, and for that he kind of goes to the side and does a crouch punch. It's a very fast crouch punch, but you can pretty much see you can pretty much see the animation and dodge along with them. You don't want to do that too soon if you're not too confident with your dodge because it's a very tight window. When he does that, you want to just dodge. You want to dodge that attack and then punish him again. The thing is, he also has a third counter, which is the very dangerous one because this one goes out so fast it barely gives you time to react, and that's the one you always want to be on the watch out for because you have to be super fast, otherwise you'll get hit and he will combo you and you're dead. It happens so fast, you blink and boom, you're dead. So that's the third. Those are the 3 counters we're going to analyze. And then the fourth move he has, which is not actually a counter but it's a move you always want to avoid, is the hook intercept, because his hook intercept, it intercepts everything. It's very hard to tell which counter he's going to go for. You always want to be on the lookout, but most of the time, the first one he ever goes for is a 3-hit counter, the one you can punish with Crookfoot. But if you fail to punish it with Crookfoot and the fight is still going, the next counter he's going to do is most likely going to be one of the other 2, the crouch punch or the very fast, I don't know how to call it, like he hits you in the face very fast. What I found out about Yang is that if in a sequence, I'm going to define what I mean by sequence later. If in a sequence he parried you once and you failed to put him on the ground or actually severely punish him, he is most likely to keep parrying you even sooner. So that makes it very hard to fight because then if you miss, the first punish, you have to be very cautious when you attack him. That's why I said you have to be careful when you throw your punches. If you just throw them carelessly, you will die. Because sometimes even if you're away from a distance, he will interpret. He will take this as you throwing a punch, and he will retaliate with one of those counters. And if you're not ready, you can assume, okay, I'm too far, I missed, that's it, right? But no, he's going to counter you from afar, and you can get caught off guard. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to do that. You want to throw punches if he's too far or if you can't reach. You really want to wait for the perfect opportunity to to do that. And what I meant by sequence is, I told you about that 3-hit counter, the one you can easily punish using crook foot. But if you failed to actually punish him, not necessarily using crook foot, but if you failed to punish him, then that sequence, it feels like it's still ongoing. And while it's still happening, then you're most likely going to encounter the next, the two other counters. The order matters not. He can still do the 3-hit counter twice in a row. That's unlikely, but then you always want to be very careful. Like, don't just be ready for him to parry more often until you actually maybe put him on the ground or actually effectively punish him. When it comes to those two counters, the crouch punch one and the very fast one he can do sometimes, I would advise you just try to dodge them as opposed to trying to parry them, because if you do that successfully, if you are able to dodge them effectively, you can just retaliate right there, as opposed to you parrying and allowing him to continue and into a combo string. You don't want that to happen. So it's a very intense fight where you have to be super focused, and if you make a mistake you can die, because he is very good at punishing and he does way too much damage. Now, with that established, it's time to talk about, the one other move you have to be very wary about, the hook intercept. And when it comes to the way Yang fights in his first phase, he starts his combos by doing two things. He's either going to use a snap kick or he's going for the hook intercept. The snap kick, I found out, can be easily stopped if you can input hook intercept very fast. Most of the time, in my experience, it will stop him while he's performing the snap kick, and then you can start punishing him. But I won't rely on it too much, because you do take a little bit of damage, so you don't want to do that all the time. So yeah, that's one way he starts his combos and you can stop it. And the other one is the hook intercept, and that's actually a very tricky one, that hook intercept, because if you're not careful and you get hit by it, it can lead to a lot of damage. And when you see him try to do that, if you can't input a back fist before his animation is done, don't try anything else. You're going to get hit, because I've tried a lot of moves, and nah, his hook intercept is just a better version of yours, like by 2, 3, 4 miles away. There is no match. So when you see him do that, just try to parry or just try to dodge it. Don't try anything else. What about his combos then? Well, he has 3 different ways to end his combos. The first one, and one he actually does the most, in my opinion, is the raining strikes. He's going to end his combos using raining strikes, with a potential to follow those raining strikes with the hook intercept. Yeah, he's really a bastard. He knows that the moment you try to counter him, he's going to hit you in the face with that hook. So when you see him going for the hook intercept, just be ready to parry or dodge. If you're fast enough, you can input the charge back fist, but if you don't think you can land it in time, just be ready to dodge. It can stun you instantly, so you don't want that to happen, because he's going to combo you, and that's a lot of damage. We don't want to die. So yeah, hook intercept, be always on the lookout for that one. It is pretty fast, especially when you are caught up in the middle of an animation. So he can also end the raining strikes by leaping backwards and coming for a sweep, a slide kick. And that one can be pretty predictable, especially in the first phase, because you don't have to worry about that attack being something else. So when he's done with the raining strikes, always be ready for him to come back with a slide kick. Another way he can end his combos is with a mix-up potential, and that one you can pretty much tell sometimes because he kind of goes to the side, and he's going to either go for a mid or an unblockable sweep. Those two attacks are unblockables, and it's the same as Fajar. Sometimes you can see it coming because the animation is not as fast. You know, it's not as fast, but you can see it coming and you can punish him if you can. But yeah, that's the second way he can end the combo. And the third way is by doing some kind of a claw attack. And this one is pretty safe. It's easy to see. You can easily see it coming and you can dodge it right away, you know. With that said, that alone doesn't give you all the knowledge to fight Yang, especially in his first phase, because Yang is very free in the way he fights. It means that he can go from this combo to a random move, to a random sweep, to this, to that, and you have to fight right there. You have to be there with him. You have to analyze his animation, what he's going to do next, and don't try to predict, right? Don't try to predict what he's going to do. Yang rewards reaction over anticipation. If you try to anticipate what he's going to do, you're going to get surprised, you're going to get, hook interface in the face, and then you're dead. He's not hard, but he is very good at punishing mistakes and you throwing punches. But if you can capitalize on the crook foot, if you can effectively know when he's going to go for that combo or that one combo, even if you end up taking damage, because it's not about not taking damage, you can take damage, it's fine, but you will limit the amount of time you'd actually die, and that's why we're here. We want to make it as young as possible. So what about phase 2? In phase 2, not much changes. He just introduces new moves, right? He no longer does the hook intercept. He doesn't do that anymore, but it's replaced by a move which is just as deadly. It's an unblockable uppercut. Yeah, the upper key. We're going to call it the upper key because unblockable uppercut is just way too long. So when he goes for that move the same way he used to when it comes to the hook intercept. So if you get used to anticipating the hook intercept, you do just fine with the upper key, right? Because he can do it either after the range strikes, or he can do it as a starter, just the same as the hook intercept, which is great because that way when you get used to one, you don't have to remap your brain or something. No, it's the same concept. Apart from that, he starts his combos the same way. It's either going to be the upper key or he's going to go for the snap kick, right? So there are two new ways he can end his combos now, right? So before there were 3, and now he no longer does that claw attack. He no longer does it. The mix-up is still there. He can go for a low or a high kick. Those two are still unblockables. He can go for the raining strikes, followed potentially by the upper key. And now he can go for the double elbow. Those are unblockables. And he can go for a single elbow. And that one is it's a tricky one. When he goes for the unblockable elbows, it's very easy. It's quite safe. If you see it coming, you can just duck into it and then punish him. When he goes for the single elbow, then he's most likely going to go very far away from you, and he's going to come back by either doing the claw, that tiger attack, the fu, the one move Sifu did not taught us for some reason. He's going to either do that, or he's now going to go for another slide kick. So it's up to you to kind of take a guess, but since he's far away, you kind of have time to see it coming, and you can either dodge, up or down. What I usually do now, because I want to maximize on the punishes, is as soon as I see him go backwards, I go for a snap kick. And when he does go for a slide kick, I'm going to go over it and punish him right there. The thing is, he can also go for that tiger attack. And when he does, I figured you have enough time to recover and start dodging the claws, the tiger attack. You have enough time. If you feel like this is way too fast for you and you don't want to take risk, it's fine. You can just wait, somewhere, and he'll come back. He'll come to you and you can dodge easily and punish him. He can also occasionally go for a charge back fist, and you can tell because it's pretty obvious. But when he is charging it, you don't want to attack him because he's going to land that as soon as you move a muscle, he's going to release it. What I do is that it's also an opportunity to punish him because you can fake a punch. You can press square or triangle and just dodge as fast as you can, because like I said, the moment your finger touches that button, he's going to release it. So just be ready, and it's a great way to punish him because you don't want the fight to last too long. So every chances you get, you want to punish him. He still has the same counters as in phase 1, so crook foot again is still useful, and you just have to be worried about, on the lookout for the other two. A while ago I released a video about how to defeat Yang. I think it was decent. It still works today. You can check it out because he fights the same way as before. It's just that he's way more punishing now, and one mistake is very costly. Before you will die in 2 to 3 combos, now you can die, depending on your age, you can die in 1 combo. So that knowledge, this video, it serves as a base. It's a base kit to fight Yang. It doesn't make you automatically able to defeat him because, like I said, you have to be reactive. You have to be right there with him. You have to adapt to his playstyle, and he is very free in the way he fights. And in his second phase, he can walk on the wall and then come with an unblockable high. He can, sometimes you'll notice that he does an invert throw, meaning like he switches places with you, and when that happens, he can automatically do a palm strike. And sometimes, speaking of palm strike, he can stop his combos halfway or even start with a palm strike and then go backwards and perform a slide kick. Like, he's very free in his movements. He's like you, but way better. And that's why I love fighting Yang. It's like no encounter is ever the same. Like, you can die pretty fast right now, or you can go against him without dying once, but it's never a fight you should take and can take for granted. And that's what I like about it. Hopefully this video helps you defeat this guy because he is great, he's amazing. And when it comes to Kuroki and Fajar, Yang definitely got improved, because before it was very easy to just bully him, but now he got moves. He got moves. This concludes today's lesson. I wish you the best. I wish you to actually get the hang of it and not die. With that said, thank you guys for watching, and go kick some ass.